what would you say is a good monthly budget for living in Santo Domingo compared to Medellin for those looking to move? Um, you can get away with 2 grand a month, and Santo Domingo is the capital, and so obviously that there's smaller cities, further north or northwest. I spoke to a manager at a coffee shop, and he said, yeah, if you want to like get more of the indigenous or like the more authentic feel of the Dominican Republic, you want to go northwest, the opposite direction of Punta Cana, which is like the American paradise. That's where all the Americans, all the British, the Europeans, that's where they tend to drift towards. Um, and I'm not exactly against certain amenities that are designed for Americans or what have you, but it's just the cost that comes with it. The cost that comes with it. So you're able to live a pretty comparable life to living in America without blowing a bag. It's just the surrounding areas. Like this morning when I walked out to get my Uber and we drove around the corner, and on weekends you'll notice that there's just certain traditions. And I'm gonna answer every question for everyone joining. Drop any questions you have, any topics you want to talk about, and I will be answering all of them. You understand all of them. Um, but yeah, I hopped in Uber this morning. We was going to the park to just get a quick little workout in, and there was trash everywhere, everywhere. The quickest way to get me off center is to be in an unclean environment. And when you drive past that, when you're walking past the ocean, and you just see swirling piles of trash, like an acre wide. It's unfortunate. Like this is a beautiful. This could be a beautiful country, a beautiful island that people just don't see the need to take care of it. And of course, resources are a thing. Time. But if it were up to me, if there was a chance that I could start a company and like just hire people to beautify the island, in the military they call it base beautification, where people just all right, go out there, just clean up now, cut that grass, what have you. But yeah, to answer your question, 2 grand would get you pretty far. It'll get you an Airbnb, pretty nice area. I mean, that's what I'm staying in currently. I got access to a kitchen, so I try to do my cooking. Little Caesars, unfortunately, is quite seductive. It's right down the street. Usually get here in like 7 to 10 minutes. I'm like, it's tough, man. It's tough. Also, I will mention I did cook yesterday, so I would attribute a lot of my calmness currently to the work I did yesterday, which of course, the compound effects and things of that ilk. But yeah, to 2 grand, just about anywhere except Punta Cana will get you just about the equivalent of what you would get in the States for like 1,500 a month. Um, and that's 2 grand for all your needs, like not rent. Like my rent here is like six. No, I probably paid 400 total. 400 total for the entire month. It's just a room. It's not like an entire apartment, but it's a room that has access to a kitchen. I technically have my own bathroom. There's been a little bit of traffic in terms of the other tenants that might stay here, but for the most part, I mean, I've had the balcony to myself, I've had the living room to myself. The Wi-Fi is fast, and so yeah, I think the American dream. A lot of people assume that it was supposed to take place in America, um, but from my current vantage point, the American dream is to have American dollars and to live elsewhere. To live elsewhere, because again, you're not dropping in quality of life. You may be dropping in quality, in terms of social life, just because the language barrier that persists. But yeah, but for the most part, I mean, it's not much different, from Colombia. It's not much different. Punta Cana, well, not Punta Cana, Santo Domingo or the Dominican Republic at large reminds me a lot of Panama, a diet Guatemala, um, a less beautiful Guatemala. Guatemala slept on, like for real. Panama reminds me a lot of Santa Marta, Colombia, or Miami, a diet Miami. And so a lot of these Central American, yeah, Central American countries, South American countries are somewhat similar, mainly due to their economies, which I talked about recently in terms of monetary inflation. And if you lose a war, that means your currency is probably going to collapse. Fighting wars, fighting wars, also means that your currency is probably going to collapse. And the reason being is that when you're going to war, you need artillery. You need tanks. You need food to feed your people. Um, it's expensive to run a war, very expensive, which is why you need allies, because some allies already have stockpiles of things that you can just yo, we need that, man. You see this with America and Israel and various other goings on, where you're relying heavily. Ukraine, they're coming to see Trump like, yo, we need everything. We need drones. Shout out DJI. Like we need everything. And so yeah, you see the tangible need for currency, for fiat. And so wars tend to you don't want to be on the losing end of a war, because your currency is going to be it's going to be unfortunate. And of course, if you look at the 20th century, the United States did not lose any wars. Not technically, we have not lost any wars. We have not fought any home wars. So that is a blessing for those of us who are American. But for everyone else, that's why when they go to buy oil, it's priced in dollars. If you know anything about purchasing power, you take $1 to Colombia, they're going to give you 4,000 Colombian pesos. You take $1 to the Dominican Republic, they're going to give you 69 Dominican pesos. Now it's the equivalent, but then when you go to buy things, you'll notice that how much it costs you technically. When I go to buy a Red Bull, I always translate that cost back to dollars. When it says like $1 something, I'm like, that's crazy, because this same Red Bull in America is almost $4. How is that for the same exact product? And of course, there's tariffs and there's a whole bunch that goes into finance. Finance is a measure of behavior, um, by both the printers and the purchasers. And so, yeah, $2,000 outside the U.S. will get you so far you have no idea. The quality of life that you can live off of $2,000 just about anywhere outside the U.S. Maybe save Europe, save Dubai. Um, Dubai is even possible. Dubai is even possible just because the dirham, I can't remember exact exchange rate, but it's there. It's noticeable. It's noticeable. So